Hey, what's up, y'all? So today I'm going to be using a reaction video to essentially do a third party reaction. Um, this particular YouTuber, JustPearlyThings, I like her channel. I've been subscribed to her for a few months now, and she gives a nice, fair perspective about the male and female opposition we have going on right now in the world today. A lot of things she takes the man's side. To me, she's just fighting to just show the stereotypes and double standards between men and women today, which also carries over to the court system and custody, which is why she is covering this. Today we're going to be looking at a millionaire. He's also a YouTuber by the name of Tech Lead. I will put both of their videos in full in the description so you can split them up and watch them, without any commentary, especially with mine and then theirs and then so forth. Okay, so I hope you all enjoy this and we should learn a lot from it. So let's get started.
So today we are reacting to Child Support Ruined My Life.
My life.
Oh wow, I lost as a millionaire.
That's a deep title.
Oh wow, okay. We'll start it.
Oh my god, I lost my child support case. This is going to destroy me. I have to pay like $5,000 per month in child support for the next 15 years or something like that. So my retirement is out of the window now. I was going to retire last week actually, but it seems like I'm back onto YouTube now, churning out these videos. And I wanted to explain for you the child support situation.
That's so sad.
Damn.
That is so
He's
sad.
He was ready to retire, and then child support was like, nope, not today, my friend.
5K a month.
5K a month.
Why don't these bitches?
For 15 years.
Why don't these bitches get a job?
By the way, 5K a month is not a lot. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying I want to pay 5K a month, but I'm surprised he's only paying 5K a month. Coming from California, the way that legal system is. Just had to say that.
You see me, I got a job. We can work.
5K a month. Like, why?
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out.
Why so much?
How many kids?
For you, I recently lost my case because you too may find yourself having to pay child support someday, whether intentionally or even unintentionally, as so happens to many sports superstars, and I'll explain for you the calculations here. But before I begin, I want to clarify for you what.
Okay, so you remember how you just stated there, sometimes you pay child support intentionally or unintentionally. Well, here in the state of Florida, if your relationship that you have with your baby mama, you're not with her no more, and she has another child, and that father, let's say, isn't as good as father as you, or however you want to state it, and she goes to put him on child support, then you have to go on too. The way it is in Florida, and I'm sure in a lot of other states, if one is on, all is on. And if she doesn't put all of the fathers on child support, then she is penalized. Either she won't get a portion of her food stamps, she won't get a portion of her cash assistance, they'll limit her Medicaid, but she's always incentivized to put every male that is not in the household that has children on child support. And that's another key thing is about the household and splitting up the household, and he'll go into it later.
Happened about 3 years ago. My Japanese wife just one day took our son, 3 years old at the time, and abducted him, taking him off to Japan. And
Wait,
Wow. She just upped and left.
stop.
She just upped and left.
And so I'm guessing they're in America.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah. And
But she's gone. She's taken the child to Japan now.
that's horror. How can she legally be able to do that?
We'll see.
So how she can legally be able to do that is, just like I said, I always take Florida for example, but a lot of states are similar in the way their laws are set up. So for example, here in Florida, if the mother was to take the child, leave the country, she is perfectly legal to do that. Perfectly within her right. Because Florida is a mother state. By law, that child has, the mother has preferred parental rights to the child. She always has the majority of the parental rights. So in divorce, all she has to say, or not even divorce, before the divorce, all she has to say is that we're separated. Once she says it's separated, the man is no longer in the household with the father, then now she has primary custody rights. She can leave the state, the country, whenever she pleases. That's why it's important to establish your rights as a father to cut any of that out for the mother to do without any penalty. Because right now she does that with no penalty.
Hey, if she can.
That's crazy. I think you should go to jail as a girl if you without any good reason. Like, there's domestic violence and, like, things like that. But if you, for no good reason, just for your own selfish interests, take the child away from the father, I think you should face jail time.
Do you know what? I had a guy.
I think you should just face jail time for lying. If you lie on a person, male or female, and it causes them bodily harm or monetary damages, you should face jail time or fines.
On my YouTube channel who I was speaking to once, and the mother of his child done the same thing. Like, she took the 2 children to Ghana, and he's been trying to access them and he can't. He doesn't even know where she lives.
That's crazy. Like, that shit. Like, that's so, like, because that's so selfish as a mother.
Of course.
You're putting your kid at every statistical disadvantage. Why? Because your relationship
But then
didn't work
what
out?
would be the outcry if a man done that?
Oh my god, people would be pissed. But it's just because I'm so tired of these girls getting away with shit just because they're women. I know, you guys are attracted to them, right?
Who's you guys? That's what
Like,
you mean, you guys?
Okay, men. Men, I feel like, have more sympathy for women.
And by the way, JustPearlyThings, that is her thing. She really covers the male-female double standard, you know, the euphemism word that they say not to say on YouTube and everything else. I don't cover that. That does sort of bleed into my message, but that's not my real concern. My real concern is the legal battles and processes and solutions that I can work to get fathers to be able to be in their children's life. So just a heads up for that.
Women.
No, they
because
do.
I think you guys have a natural, like, inclination to protect us on some level. Plus,
and when
like,
you
men
cry,
are,
it's like, oh my God.
and men are like attracted to women, right? But I'm straight as an arrow. Okay, I cannot.
She doesn't care.
I cannot.
She doesn't care.
I cannot stand when girls do shit. They just get away with it because they're a girl.
Well, that's why, as a woman, you've got to be the one to humble these women.
Nicely.
Yeah, nicely. In the most British way possible.
I'm getting too British the more
I know.
About a year ago, I lost contact with them and she has been blocking access ever since. So recently she came after me, hiring an American lawyer, and went after me for child support. And she's still out there in Japan. Now, this is not a video meant to trash her or anything like that. You know, like, I'm just here to try to educate you that value is what I'm trying to provide for you. So this really isn't a personal video. And, you know, some people, by the way, are going to say I'm a deadbeat dad. I want to clarify that, you know, my son was the most important thing to me in my life. He was the one thing I could not lose. The most important element in my life that left me very much traumatized. And many fathers who end up losing their children do end up unliving, so to speak. And so really the fact that I'm even here alive and somewhat productive is a feat in and of itself that requires tremendous emotional willpower. A lot of people say that I refer to my son in the third person as the child rather than my child. And the reason for that is because it just makes it too personal and emotional for me sometimes to talk about this matter. It's an emotional card rather than me.
Do you know what, right? There's statistical data to show that men that lose their children are at higher risk of suicide. And what he just said there was very interesting to me, where he said,
Man, I definitely can believe that. I mean, I have 4 boys myself, and I can't imagine losing one of them, the void it will leave in my life. You know, as fathers, you know, we have real love. We have real love for our kids, and it matters. So, sorry Tate Lee had to go through that, but his story will help us.
you know, that the fact that he's still living and breathing is a feat in itself, because he must have had sounds like he had some suicidal thoughts or something. I don't know.
This is making me so sad.
Yeah, I know,
It's
it's
making me
crazy.
want to tear up a little bit.
It's crazy.
Because, like, I don't understand how you could keep a father from your child. If that's the one person as a mother you were supposed to love more than anyone in the world.
But it happens all the time.
Oh,
I know, but to me, I can't even fathom that.
It happens all the time. Like, I know a couple of fathers, you know, it's happened to me before. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know many men it's happened to. So, yeah, it's an emotional manipulation tool. It's
See, he hit it on the head right there, guys. It is an emotional manipulation for the children. And that's what relationships is. You know, not to get off topic about, you know, child support and custody, but that's what relationships is. It's a manipulation. It's a power struggle. And once the relationship is over, the only commonality you have between that person is the children. That's the only thing they can hold leverage with. Because without that child, you can go on with your life. Don't ever have to see them again. So that's why boundaries and barriers have to be put in place in order to hold each person accountable.
It's not being with somebody while also being able to control them.
How did
Yep.
you get around like you're like the mother of your child not letting you see your kid?
I had to. It was a long process. You had to go through the courts. You had to go through mediation. Like so it was a whole process.
And yes, guys, that's true. It is a long process. It does take probably a year to a year and a half to, let everything run its course, go to all the hearings and get an actual ruling on your case. But it's worth it. I mean, it's totally worth it, for getting your finances straight and most importantly, making sure that you're in your child's life, and making sure that you have a way of protecting them. So, unfortunately, it's part of the process.
And so, yeah, like when he's saying this kind of stuff, it kind of resonates with me, and I can definitely relate.
Well, and the other thing is, it takes, because this is what I've heard too, and I heard this happen during COVID a lot, where like the dads, like let's say like in January, she said you can't see the kid, and then he files like at the end of January and saying, okay, she's not letting me see the kid, and then 6 months, like if the courts get backed up or something, the dad might not see the kid for months, and she has no penalty.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, she does speak of a very real scenario that can happen and has happened to me. I mean, just for my income renewal, because in order to get your child support increased or decreased in the state of Florida, each parent has to submit the income affidavit, and then the child support is recalculated. It's hard just to get a hearing date, just to get that process done. I mean, it's 6, 7 months out to a year, just to get a recalculation done. So that's why it's important to start early. Start as soon as possible, especially if you're not going to be with the mother. Make sure you're already going in the process of getting your court-ordered child support established. That way, you're not on a child support payment that is not fair to you. You won't have to worry about that situation if there is a delay in the courts. But if you're trying to correct it right now, then yes, it is a headache. It is very hard. So you really need to move on these things. It's your life. Don't let it wait.
Which is crazy because you can't get that time back.
No, that's the one thing about when it comes to children. There's time. You just can't get it back.
Yeah.
You really can't.
No,
The
you
fact that
cannot.
she's just upped and left to Japan. One of the most selfish things you can do,
That's
man.
so selfish.
Rather than me being inhumane for any reason. But really, this is the thing. Whatever you value the most, your spouse will learn your weaknesses, what you treasure, and take that away from you in a bitter divorce when they're angry at you because they want to retaliate against you. If I did not love my son, she probably would see no reason to block access, right? There would be no point in doing that. But because I do, she knows she can use that as leverage against me and to just exact pain upon me. And maybe that's really the post-breakup game, right?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's deep.
that's so crazy.
So this is the one thing.
Come on, guys. We all know what's happened. And I'm not saying that men don't do it. If you have a position of power, you have leverage over somebody, that leverage will be used regardless of your sex or gender. But with the dynamic of Florida being a mother state and mothers getting the majority of the custody and the powers, men aren't lying when they say that, they want to see their children and not being able to see their children. You should not have to pay to see your own child. And a lot of times that's basically what it is ransom. And some of the cases I help some of my clients with, I'm sorry, that's most of the time that's what it is. They can't see their child for 30 days at a time. When they finally are able to see the child, the mother wants some type of monetary payment before they even see the child. So, this, like I said, what I'm going over, getting you to file, this won't stop it. Depends on who the mother is and what type of person it is, but it will allow you to hold them accountable instead of just sitting on your hands and going 18 years without being able to put your stamp on your son's or daughter's life.
Thing that he loved, and she's just gonna be like, okay, cool. I know you love this. I'm gonna use it against you.
It is crazy. Do you think men see it coming when this stuff happens? Because I think women, we see it coming more because we kind of see girls a little bit more behind the scenes than you guys do.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like as a girl, we'll be like, oh, why would he like pick that girl? She's nuts. But it seems like you guys see it, but you see it like later.
We see it, and I mean, just like being with somebody, it's like you ignore so many signs. Do you know what I mean? Because you're like, I'm in love. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in love.
I mean, yeah, Raw right there is, he's true what he's saying, like, we're in love. But a lot of time, you know, man, dudes just chasing the cat. It's not their intention to get these chicks pregnant. And most of the time, the chicks that they just chasing the cat, they do not want to be with them. And when they get them pregnant, that chick knows that that man doesn't want to be with them. And so the whole thing is resentful from the time the baby is conceived. So it's just all bad. You know, that right there would blame on any man. You know, honor thy seed. Your seed is the most precious thing you can give in this life. So, you know, we got to be more careful, you know, to where we are sticking our thing at.
And it's like, it's true what they say. Like, it's a cliche, but they do say love is blind sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think men don't want to break the facade of a woman's like innocence.
Yeah.
Like they're less likely to. Now men are like, no, these hoes are crazy. but before,
yeah.
you know, and obviously when you're married, you don't want to break the facade of like your wife's innocence. Do you know what I mean? So maybe you see it coming and you ignore it.
Yeah, this is crazy to me.
Game, right? The other person blames you for having married them, for having proposed to them, because it turned out that they just wasted their time. You weren't who they thought they would be. You deceived them. You didn't play up to their entire expectations and imaginations of what a wonderful night you would be. You know, it turns out you're human after all. But let me tell you what happened with child support court. I basically walked into the courtroom and I just lost. I got slaughtered in there. Here's what happened. Quick pause. This video is brought to you.
But yeah, I bet he did get slaughtered. I bet he did. If he was married and she just up and left, and not only did she up and leave, she left the country. The moment she left, she assumed primary rights to that child. Then she left the country. So that means that whatever laws that are in that country, he will have to go over there to fight with. But she filed in America. So she filed in America, but when she left, she automatically had rights. In order for him to establish rights to that child, she would have to come back, or he would have to get her to come back to first establish custodial rights, then have the child support recalculated. But he's screwed. If she's gone, he can't get her back over. He never can get that process done.
By DeFiPro.dev.
I know we're getting emotional, but quick pause, guys.
I've been getting that back too.
Quick pause.
Wait, quick pause.
It's emotional, I know, but you know, I've got this product to sell, okay?
So to start off, I began by hiring an attorney like any normal person would, and there's all these paperwork you have to file. I ended up blowing through $25,000 to $30,000 of.
Now this part right here is good, guys. This is where he really explains how the lawyers work, how you can spend thousands of dollars to get no results. You know, the court system already sits there and seems like it just sits on its hands and moves at a snail's pace. Imagine paying a lawyer while it's moving at that snail's pace. So listen.
Money within just 1 month, and it didn't even get me up to the trial. I ended up firing these people because what happens is once you retain them, you know, you have to pay $5,000, $10,000. As soon as you show them your finances, and you know, if you're a higher earner, they say, you know what, we need double the retainer right away. And they just start billing you for everything. If they
my God, the audacity of these people.
This man's going through like a really hard time, and it's just like, yeah, give me your money, but.
You know what's crazy too is that this is a millionaire, right? But imagine the average guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He can't fight this stuff.
No. Did y'all know that for most states, if you don't make a lot of money, you're like legitimately poor. You can file indigent and get even your court costs waived. So if you self-file the paperwork, all you have to do is just get the paperwork filled out, get the knowledge to fill it out correctly, fill out your indigent paperwork, and you can spend very little out of pocket to get the case started. Something that you spend thousands of dollars on, you spend thousands of dollars just to get the case started. It's a racket. Thousands just to get it started. You know, so here I will be showing you different paperworks on different topics so that you can know how to do it yourself and then save your money. It's not hard.
Like,
No, I mean, I know a guy who spent like $20K trying to see his daughter. I mean, that was over the course of like a year or so. But yeah, and he's an average earner. He's not like a millionaire, but it really took some money out of his pocket.
Now imagine if it was vice versa. A man was doing that, not letting the kids see their mother. They'd get ripped apart.
No.
Like, just imagine going to the judge.
No.
Well, first off, if a man did that, it would be illegal. In the eyes of the state, it would be illegal. Again, it all goes back to establishing custody. If a man took his son or daughter and not even left the state, just didn't let the mother see him, and there was no court order established or anything like that, okay, they're just not together in separate households, that mother has 100% right to go file a missing persons report, give up the dad as the kidnapper, and he will be arrested. Yes, and it happens all the time.
Because you've actually done this stuff.
Yeah, so. Because people assume that the mother is automatically the better parent than the father. It's just an assumption.
Do you think that's changing?
I think slowly now, because people are seeing a lot of like what women can be nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
The only way that's going to change is when fathers get more educated on the legal process and go in there and fight for the children the right way and not give up. Okay, go in there and fight for them the right way. Take action early. And that's the key, because the longer you wait, the more money you're going to spend. Take action early and is able to fight. That's the only way it's going to change.
So I think it's slowly changing.
Well, and I think that the kids grow up and realize the mom was crazy at some point.
Yeah.
Because like kids aren't stupid.
But by that time,
I was watching the video today.
Do you want to take that chance with your child? Just wait and hope one day they'll see, what's true. Because you got to understand, the child is like putty. You mold them at an early age, and they're being molded with the wrong rhetoric and being around the wrong people. And you just feeding your child to the wolves. So I would be hesitant on that mindset.
There's another content creator, and she was saying to like young children, go to your mom and say, when I turn 18, I'm going to have a serious conversation with my dad. And I don't want to hear anyone's input except for my dad's. And she said, say that to your mum and see what their reaction is. She said, if your mum tries to stop you from speaking to him, she's the one.
She's crazy.
She's the crazy one.
Dude, that is great advice. That is great advice really for any situation you're trying to see. But yeah, especially that when it has the dynamic of family. If a son goes to the mother and says, hey, I'm gonna go talk to dad about a certain topic that she doesn't want him to talk about, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the nervousness and everything come. So yeah, that's great advice.
Crazy.
If they send an email, 10-word email, it's $40 for that. And they just bill you everywhere. If they have a conversation.
$40 for a 10-word email?
Yeah.
The audacity of these.
How much is that per word?
Conversation with a colleague about your case, it's another several $100s, even though you didn't ask them to have that conversation. If you have a conference call and two of the attorneys of the firm show up, then you get billed at 2x the rate. And the rate is typically $400, $500 per hour. If it's a good attorney, it could be as high as $800 per hour. And you really have to be careful about these attorneys, because sometimes the other party can come and ask you to also pay for their attorney fee. So you could be paying 2x the hours. If it's like an $800 attorney, for both sides is as high as $1,600 per hour. And so the legal system, the way it really works is if you and the other spouse cannot work together to figure this out, then they're just going to drain your finances until both of you can figure something out.
Did y'all hear that? He said that you could pay up to $1,600 an hour, and you may have to pay for your spouse's lawyer as well, which is true. My mom was a paralegal for like 20 years, so some of this he's saying I do know about, and I do know about the lawyer fees. And I remember seeing a ledger that my mom had to do showing the fees that the lawyer that she worked for was earning on a daily basis. And I mean, it was thousands of dollars. And I mean, he was making $400 here, $500 there during the same time slot. So I mean, it really is a racket. They really are making money hand over fist. But he made a good point there about how the legal system is not designed to necessarily give you the conclusion or the result, ruling, whatever you want to look for that you're looking for. because they're there to make money. It is up to us as people to come together and talk maturely and get things done for our family, whether we're together or not, because it will save both of us money and both of us a headache. But right now, we are not to the point where we can do that, and this is the result. I mean, it's just chaos and money being spent, and at the end of the day, nobody is happy.
So in my view, the legal system is not built to try to help you or to find justice, but rather to just drain your money as fast as possible until one of you just say, you know what, we're just going to give up, or we're going to just settle on something because this is too much financial pain for us to take as a family. We just can't afford it. Somebody has to give in at that point. The other thing to know is that,
Can you imagine?
And that is very true. When I was going through my mediation, we could not agree. We could not agree. And the only thing that we could agree on was that we could not agree. And when we went to the judge warned us and told us, listen, when y'all go, I'm going to send you all back to mediation. Y'all need to come up to an agreement or you're going to have to go to trial. Well, neither one of us want to pay for a lawyer. Neither of us want to go for a trial. But he was like, there's no other option. You cannot come to an agreement. So in the end, we just had to go to the judge and say, we can't agree. Here is what we have. We just need you to rule on it. And that's how we came to our agreement. But if we wouldn't even make that step, then it just would have just kept turning, and eventually they just would have kicked it out of the court, and I would have stayed in the situation that I was in. So yes, you have to have a level head, and you have to just understand, what are you fighting for?
Like, just using all your money to try and get something done, and you use all your money, you still haven't got it done. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what did I use all that money for? We still never came to any kind of conclusion.
No, I know. I just don't understand why these hoes can't get a job.
Listen, I think...
Because they don't have to be. We are in we're going to the third generation of the feminist movement, and when food stamps and public assistance really was being pushed. So, I mean, if my mama didn't go to work, and she doing all right, and she able to get her nails done and do this and that, well, why do I have to do that? So it's all about cultural frame of mind, a lot of different things. So men, choose wisely. Shoot.
I think they become so, and a lot of it's men's fault, you know, because a lot of men make them accustomed to a certain lifestyle, but stop them from having any other skills.
But it's just like, okay, I grew up in the 1%, 0.5%, but my family always taught us to work. That was just, you were either in sports, you were doing school, or you were working. That's what, you were not just staying home and doing nothing for a summer. So when I see these girls that get the lifestyle and then just suddenly lose their ability to work, it just drives me nuts.
Also, that happens when you wife a stripper, or you wife I don't know, just a Barbie.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have anything but her looks.
Yeah.
Guys, if you want to see, what type of lady you're with, you gotta look further than just them. You gotta meet the parents. You gotta meet the sister. You gotta see what type of values is instilled in them, because those same values and traits will be in your child as well, whether you like it or not. That still will be half of your child and half of her child. So that's why I say you got to choose wisely. But values, man. If values are ingrained early in a woman, you will see it. And you will see it passed down from the parents. But if the parents aren't around, strained relationship with the parents, or especially if it's no father, no male energy that's been around a long time, then you're probably going to have problems. And it's going to be a disconnect.
I want to know
what she looks like. What does your wife look like, my friend?
I want to know how they met. I have so many questions.
Is that mediation is very difficult. I made the back of the envelope calculation of how much I believed my wife would deserve. I doubled that, and I said, here, take over $1 million. Just take it, be happy, let's just move on with our lives, very happy people. But the problem is, since she does not know what is the fair amount, any amount that you offer, she's going to say, maybe I deserve more than this. How do I know this is the right amount?
You see, it was funny when he was saying that. It had me thinking. I was like, when you offer a woman child support, you're not on child support or anything. You're just saying, okay, we're not together. I will I will give you $500 a month. It's right. The woman does have a hard time valuing it because it seems from my experiences, they have a hard time distinguishing between how much it takes to actually raise the child and how much is my child valued. Well, for any person, if I was invaluable, my child is invaluable. It's not enough money in the world I would give to trade them. Well, with that thinking, then you're never going to be able to give enough child support. Because I truly don't think a lot of times when mothers think about child support, they're literally just thinking about expenses. In the back of their mind, it seems like, some of that is just for my heartache too. Maybe it's just my opinion or whatever, but again, that's what I see. They have a hard time distinguishing between value of care and then value of the person.
Let's get a judge or attorney to actually stamp this.
None.
And so it's very difficult to reach any agreement. So you kind of end up.
And if you didn't pick the right guy, then learn to pick better. Like, take the L and move on. He doesn't owe you money.
But he offered her $1 million.
I know.
She got something.
I know what I'm saying. I think the red amount should be zero.
Right, $1 million. I wish I could offer $1 million. And on that, man, what I think is that if you both are able-bodied adults and you're both working, there should be no child support. You should each have the child as equally as possible. Now, if it's an instance to where, the person is gone all the time, then yes, of course, you should support monetarily. But nothing a child wants more than is time with their parents. You can't pay for that. And it's just so frustrating with this whole child support system because the children just want to be with their parents. They're not looking at the money.
Zero. You left. You left him and took his son, and you want money?
You know what? That's
you
actually
deserve
quite
zero.
crazy.
You deserve $0.
You can't move and then ask me for money. You can't sever the tie with money and then ask for money.
They are rewarded for breaking up their home because they can leave.
Behavior,
yeah, because they get to leave and then they get a cash cow. And so it's like
marriage and divorce is becoming a business now.
Yes.
It's a business.
It's not becoming a business. It was always a business. That is why when you hear guys talk about, in the old days and blah, 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 like that, the marriages was arranged. That's because it was a business proposition. One family would get together with another family. I have a whole bunch of cattle. You have a whole bunch of land. Let my daughter marry your son, and then we can put that cattle on the land and both prosper. That was a clear business proposition and a good one because both families benefited. Both families secured their wealth and kept it going for generations. It made sense. Nowadays, everybody is marrying for so-called love. And there's no type of literal plan, support in place. Love ain't going to get you through the hard times. It's not. But money will pay for the electric when you can't. Money will put food in your belly. Money will get you the proper medical treatment. So it's always been a business transaction. It's just that now the laws and rules are put in place where women can leverage that business transaction to their benefit.
Like, that's why I just think the government shouldn't be in it. Like, what? Why? I mean,
yeah, but then how would you regulate it? The government have to be involved in it somehow.
Why? The only reason the government I think should be in it is to maybe incentivize families, so maybe give them a tax break or something. But I just genuinely feel like you bear the consequences of your own actions. If you want to date, if you want to date the bad boy, go do it.
And I agree with that. If women knew that if they got pregnant, there was no child support coming, there was no food stamps coming, there was nothing. You was just gonna have to work, pay full price for child care, and get it done. There would be a whole lot more contraceptives being used. Now, abortions, I'm sure, will go up because people still gonna be irresponsible. But far as all this is the man's responsibility to monetarily provide, dude, it's both parents. I needed both of my dang parents. I didn't need my dad money. I needed his wisdom. I needed his time. I needed his love. I needed all that. And when I was younger, I needed my mother. I needed her to rub my belly, tell her we was going to be okay, and everything else. Both parts. So, no.
But if
well, she dated the good guy.
No, the good guy. If you want, that's the other side of it. If you want to date the good guy, you're not really attracted to. That's why she feels like she can treat him like this.
Yeah.
Is because she feels like she's better than him.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you want to do that, that's.
She has no regard for his health, either physical or mental, because the fact that you can just up and leave and
right,
and you're not even thinking about what he's going to be thinking.
Yeah, and so it's like if you want to do that, but like deal with the consequences. Get women. We fought for the right to work. Let's use it, ladies. If you're gonna break up your home,
get to work.
If you're gonna break up your own home, get a job. I just don't. It's like one thing.
Now all of a sudden they're like damsels in distress, and you know.
It's like one thing if a dude leaves you after 20 years for a younger model. That's a whole nother situation.
A different thing.
But like.
She left with a child.
You left. You left.
You know, this is really starting to sound like this lady had to plan this out, and she had to know that because of the laws in California, that if she left, she would have the majority of parental rights, and especially if she left internationally, meaning out the country, there's nothing he could do. She had to plan this out and understood that once she got out the country, without him establishing his part of his parental rights, it was really nothing he could do. It's diabolical and genius, I guess.
You left.
They drive me nuts.
Stamp this. And so it's very difficult to reach any agreement. So you kind of end up being sucked into the whole legal system, whether you like it or not, and all of your funds goes into the attorneys. Oh, and also, the moment lawyers are involved, they tell you not to talk to each other anymore because they'll take it from here. And that makes reaching any type of agreement even more difficult because nobody's talking anymore, and the lawyers are going to just rack up the fees as much as they can and continue dragging out that conversation for.
Exactly, guys. It is a racket. Believe me, the lawyers want to get them billable hours on there. I believe 100% in what he's saying, and from what I've seen in my life, yes. So you got to understand what the lawyers are doing. You got to understand, what am I paying for? Most people don't. Most people don't understand those initial upfront fees that you're paying for to start your case. You can do yourself. You do not need them. You can do it yourself.
For as long as possible. In many ways, it makes the situation even worse. Not to mention, I don't think a single child abducted to Japan, which is the black hole of child abduction, like so many kids get abducted there, I don't think a single child has ever been returned. So any legal recourse, it's not even enforceable. So
you're saying any child that's been abducted to Japan has never been returned?
Wow. This is a common thing, like women take the kids back to Japan?
He was saying that it's like a black hole.
You see, when I heard this right here, this gave me, I remember seeing a movie, and it was a true story, but it was like the reverse roles. It was where the Muslim men that was married in the Middle East, they would come over to America and marry American women, have children with them, take them back to the Middle East, and then once they got back to the Middle East, they would tell them, hey, if you don't want to convert to Muslim or you don't want to abide by my customs, you can leave and I'll keep my child. Because over in the Middle East, women and children, especially females, are considered property. So she had no rights over there. And he knew once he got her over there, it was nothing she could do to take the child away. And it sort of sounds like this is the same dynamic here, where she knew that once she left America and he didn't have his rights established over here, she could go over there and fight him from afar, and he wouldn't have any power. It's just, I couldn't imagine doing anything like that to my child, because I want my child and my children to know their mother. It's like, it's just not.
Of abduction.
Wow, I had never heard of that.
So then, yeah, he knows he has no chance of seeing his son again.
So, question, as, like, if she has the son, right, and you go in and just take him, can she legally do anything?
Take him how? Like go in the house and physically take him?
Yeah.
You can get done for like breaking and entering because it's not your property. But I don't think in the UK you can legally kidnap your own child.
Okay, so
here in America you can. Like I said, you're the father, you don't have your parental rights established in the court, having a court order. You just had a baby, you got put on a birth certificate. You take that baby, let's say, to Georgia. You cuss your baby mama out on the phone. The next day you find out you got a warrant for kidnapping. It's just the way it is.
See, I'm very creative, so I was trying to think of a way around it.
Oh, okay.
like if he went to Japan and like grabbed his
he'd have to have the passport and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd have to have like an SAS team to like snatch the child or something. Do you know what I mean? But he'd have to literally do it and then have the flight booked and then go straight to the airport. And,
yeah, that's.
But then you have to think about the trauma on the child now.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying this was a good option. I was just trying to.
Oh yeah, fathers, just so you know, if you don't have court-ordered custody established, you can't even get a passport for your child. If you walk into there trying to get a passport for your child and you're a man and you don't have no court paywork, it is not happening.
Think of a plan C. Gosh, this is so messed up.
Because the mother's she's already set the boundaries.
Yeah.
So it's like she's taken the child, so she's already traumatized the child once.
Yeah.
And he could, go and do it again? It's like, I don't know, it's a catch-22.
I feel like if they're young enough, they won't know. If they're like 2.
Yeah.
They're not gonna know what's going on.
Yeah. But if they're a little bit older, then...
You gotta pay a babysitter. That's what that is what I would do. I'm very creative.
Go on,
right?
tell us
This is what I would do if I was a dude trying to get a kid. Okay? I'm very creative. I would get a babysitter, okay? And I'm red pill, right? So I would make it her type. Whatever her type is, the babysitter, right?
So you get like a nice, handsome babysitter.
Yes,
right.
yes. Okay. Or a feminine woman. I don't know. Whoever. I'm gonna send more than one in. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna give her an event that she wants to go to. Right? I don't know what. I don't know how I would.
Guys, you see this plan? Like, this is something a woman would think of. I'm not sitting here getting people involved and having roles to play and everything else for manipulation. Like, this is some deep manipulation. But at the same time, she's giving you a women's perspective. So this is how you need to look at it when women are thinking. There's a lot of moving parts going on here.
Would do it. This is just how I think, okay?
Go on.
And so, and then I'd get her to like think she's invited to some fancy event, something a girl can't turn down. It doesn't have to be real.
I mean, this is elaborate right now.
Look,
living in a movie, but go on.
You know me. I would make it happen.
All right, go on.
I would throw the event myself.
She'll turn up and she's the only one there.
but okay. And what I would do is I would get the babysitter to give me the kid. That's what I would do. Okay. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Or fine, it could be a third-party friend that she doesn't know about. I don't know. I would this is my third-party plan. If someone's struggling out there, you can see it.
You see, but even with that plan, you still can't get around it. The mother can at any time say that you're kidnapping your own child. You just can't get around it. You have to establish paternity. You have to establish your custodial rights. I don't care if you have a 10%, 90% split. She has the child 90% of the time. You only have 10%. At least you have documented custody that you have parental rights. Doesn't matter. She can still not leave the country, state, county without notifying you where she is going, the address, and duration of time she's going to be gone. So, like I said,